What's up, Vetters? Patrick here with Vetted. Today we're talking about this.
You have like creepy shit happening in your personal life, and then simultaneously you have people calling you a spook.
Right.
And it's like you're on both, you're being flanked.
You know, a lot of people that, you know, are suspicious of you.
I know.
And I was.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. But here we are. Will you tell the truth if you find out something is incorrect, and will you tell it loudly?
Oh, yeah.
Did you start this, what you're doing, with the intention to try to get information to the public that you thought was important? Are you independent or are you controlled?
All right, Vetters, please hit that like button. That really helps out the videos. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, y'all. Today's video is about Jeremy Corbell and a recent interview he did with Jesse Michels. It just dropped today, all right? And I've got a nice little clip that we're going to go over. I just teased it there at the beginning. And it's basically at the very end of the interview. Now, to be honest, this is a really good interview with Jeremy and Jesse, very relaxed. They get into a lot of things, but Jeremy had a series of sort of rapid fire questions for Jeremy at the very end. And at first, it initially caught me off guard a little bit, to be honest with you, because it seemed like Jeremy was kind of interrogating Jesse a little bit here. But nonetheless, it was a great way to end the episode. So, what do you say? Let's get started.
And I would like to do a 2-minute rapid fire because I have questions for you. You could put it in your episode or not.
Sure, yeah.
So this is back and forth.
Yeah.
Rapid fire.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you start this, what you're doing, with the intention to try to get information to the public that you thought was important?
Yes.
Are you independent or are you controlled?
Independent.
I know. Do you have people that support you in your life so that you'll keep going?
Like loved ones and...
Yes.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay. Have you found friends that you really trust at this point in this part of your journey?
I have, yeah.
On this topic?
I had before this.
On this topic?
On this topic, yeah, yes, for sure. Yeah.
Will you protect that?
Always, yeah. Before anything, before, relationships over anything.
Will you tell the truth if you find out something is incorrect, and will you tell it loudly?
Oh, yeah.
I believe you.
Thank you, Jeremy. I'm glad I passed the test.
It's not a test. I learned those things about you through time.
Yeah.
But now maybe people learn about you because you just told it how it is.
Yeah, I love it.
There we go. You got a lot of people that, are suspicious of you.
I know.
And I was.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. But here we are.
It's frustrating to me, and it makes me want to quit sometimes because it's like fuck, like what do you do? The offense on a conspiracy about yourself is always going to beat the defense. Like you can always say shit about me and whatever, and so I can always say you're wrong. You're just wrong, and I can point to the facts. But then you can always construct a new thing, and so it's like yeah, it's tough. I don't know.
Now there's more to it, so we're not done yet. But this is an interesting series of questions from Jeremy, right? And I've spoken to Jeremy, and I think he has to like vet, if you will, anybody he thinks is sort of paid, right? Just because of the circles that Jeremy sort of runs around in and hangs out in. He probably has been approached by people that are trying to deceive him or working for the government, pretending not to, whatever. I don't know. I'm not from this cloak and dagger world. But I could relate to this line of questioning in the sense that I've been questioned myself, right? I don't have as big a platform as Jeremy or Jesse Michels, but Vetted isn't a small platform either. And people have definitely accused me of being, everything, a government asset, an agent, CIA agent, this, that, you know. Never in my life have those sort of accusations been leveled my way, nor would I've ever thought that would ever happen when I decided to start covering UFOs, to be honest with you. To be honest, I don't know if I would have jumped into this had I known that there was this aspect to it, because there is this sort of, you know, aspect to the UFO community that's so close to national security and the government and the, you know, top secret program. And then there's the, like, you know, aliens from Zeta Reticuli, and you know what I mean? The kind of fun stuff that you kind of get into, and then it's all kind of lumped together, and you're like, well, I just want to talk about aliens. And people are like, you know, just take it to another level, I guess, essentially, right? And it becomes like a higher calling for people, as you'll hear Jesse say in this next part, as well, right? And, you know, again, I want the truth, but I'm not willing to go to these links. You know, I'm not trying to have secret conversations in alleys and burner phones and, you know, get my phone tapped and people following me, and or even start thinking those sort of things, right? Or to just be paranoid about everyone that you interact with, that you think they could be this sort of, quote, controlled, you know, opposition. But, you know, Jeremy and George, they are journalists that, you know, work at a different level. So I totally understand. And I get where Jeremy's coming from, to be honest with you. If I was in this position, I'd probably be the same sort of paranoid. And that's my point. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be in that sort of thing. I just want to make YouTube videos, make documentaries. Psionics Film, Vetted's first feature-length documentary is out now. Go check it out. You know, I want to have fun, right? I want to look for the truth and all of that. You know, I want to believe, but I just want to have fun with this topic, right? And cover kind of what's going on. But, you know, this is just a whole different level. And even Jesse, you know, he's operating at a whole different level in the things he has to deal with. So I can relate to a lot of these sort of accusations toward Jesse. And then you really just don't know what to say, right? Somebody's like, you're a CIA agent. And then you're like, no, I'm not. They're like, that's exactly what a CIA agent would say. Okay. And if you were to answer, yes, I am, they'd go, no, you're not, sis. Oh, you know, I don't know. Maybe that's the way to, you know, devolve it. Just like, yes, I am. I am an agent. I'm an agent. I'm a secret agent. 00 vetted. You know, there's really nothing you can say to combat it. You just have to keep doing your thing and whatever. Are there some, you know, I don't even know what to call them, assets for the government that are out to push disinformation that are paid for by the government within the UFO community? I mean, there's a history of that with Richard Doty and some stuff that happened with other researchers in the 80s. You know, there might be, honestly. I think a lot of the people that I see that I personally just like, I just think it's ego and they're kind of doofuses, not necessarily, you know, these evil people. Could that exist? I don't know. I don't hang out enough with UFO podcasters and researchers to really know that, to be honest with you. That's why I like what Vetted does. We just stay in our lane and do our thing, and I don't really care, you know? So I don't know. It's an interesting dilemma when you're in a position like Jesse is and you're getting questions from someone like Jeremy. You know, I've been there, right? I have been there.
That is a reality, is that people do want to quit. And that is the work of a very organized attempt sometimes. And we need to identify that, and we need to bring it into the light. And you're not going to quit, because you told me just now that you do have people that love you and support you about keep going.
And it feels like a mission that's higher than me. So that's why the part that wants to quit is like the ego that wants to remain intact,
right?
And like wants to stay out of the limelight.
Fight or flight. You don't want to be in pain.
In pain, yeah.
Right.
And
pain is part of life.
And you mentioned stuff around, you know, your personal life being encroached on. I've had similar things that freak me out, and I'm like, and then so it's funny to see that simultaneously. And I know you face this as well. You have like creepy shit happening in your personal life, and then simultaneously you have people calling you a spook,
right?
And it's like you're being flanked, and I'm like, I'm not a fucking spook, and go the fuck away,
right.
And just let me, you know, and I'm sure you feel sympathetic to this as well. There's so much that you put out that they wouldn't even be into this shit if you hadn't had put the thing out.
That's
So
what
they're fucking using your lexicon and all the stuff you bring out. They're taking that, but then they're throwing you in the garbage or whatever. And it's like, fuck off. Like, you know?
So the thing is, it's not about you.
I know.
It's not about me.
It's not.
And I've got tunnel vision. So I'm seeing you right now. I don't see nothing else. You got to do that. But I'm going to correct you on one thing. I hope you find it useful later.
Okay.
Which is that you said something about defense, and you said something about like when you're getting all these attacks from every side and people make you want to quit. Okay. Then they win if you quit. Now, quit if you find a beautiful girl and you want an island and just like go live over there. You don't need to be doing this. I know that about you. You don't need to be doing this. I don't need to be doing this, right? But I can, so I will. So the one thing I want to correct you on is the best defense is to outpace, outmaneuver, and outperform. Never look back. Unless you're reflecting, but your mom and dad and brothers and sisters and your friends will tell you if you're being a bitch and an idiot and help you self-reflect. So they're better at it than you anyway, right? So you look forward, you keep going. If you want out at any time, make it your own choice. The best thing you do when you're getting attacked is don't look back, keep moving forward. Don't think about those attacks. Don't let them in. Don't penetrate them. They don't know you and they don't own you. You're independent. Fucking fight. We need you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jeremy.
Love you, buddy. Good
You
to see
too, man.
I am.
And look, I have to agree here with Jeremy in the sense that you just got to move forward with whatever you're doing. I think this just applies in life, period. No matter who you are, what you do, what you're trying to accomplish in life, just keep your head down and keep working, right? You're never going to please everybody, nor can you, right? You're always going to have people fighting against you. Fighting against them just is a waste of time, right? That you could be using that time and energy to just push yourself forward. So, but we're all human. None of us are perfect. We have good days and bad days. And there are some days where you're just going to feel like just can't do it anymore, you know? And the key is to have the days where you feel like you can move forward and you can do this, have that outnumber the number of days where you're like, fuck it. It's all bullshit. I can't do this shit. You know, you want that to be lesser days, but to not admit you don't have those days is crazy. I mean, I just don't know anyone that doesn't, have some of those problems. It's common. Sorry, my watch is going off. I don't know if y'all can hear that. I'm getting blown up on the WhatsApp. So, I find it to be an interesting situation to find yourself. And honestly, it's hard to know, at least specifically to this topic, how that feels unless you're sort of a content creator doing this. Right now, you may experience something similar in another career or field that you have, right? That's totally possible. But specific to UFOs, because I had a career prior to this that, in the food industry that never in a million years where I thought it'd be called a CIA agent or a government asset or these sort of weird things, So it is unique to the UFO thing. Again, when you come in just kind of like, yeah, let's talk about UFO cases and Roswell and, dee-da-da-da-doo-doo, and then you just getting these weird attacks, people doing all kinds of weird things behind the scenes, right? There's some really crazy, creepy, toxic people in this community. Now, I haven't been a part of a bunch of communities to know if that's just a common thing, but I can tell you it definitely exists in the UFO land, and you get trolled, there's just all kinds of weird shit, and it is a lot to deal with as a content creator, but, you got to push through. It just comes part of it. If you're going to step on the stage, you got to expect that, the light is going to shine on you, right? That's the whole point. That's what you're doing. You take the good with the bad. You also get a lot of praise, right? So you got to take the bad that comes with it too. It's just part of it. But sometimes it does make you want to quit, and it is difficult to deal with sometimes. And honestly, it was really nice to hear Jesse open up like that. It's probably why it's at the end of the interview, but he probably thinks most people just don't want to hear that stuff. And, I feel the same way a lot of times, but it is a good thing to talk about sometimes. And I think if you're a fan of Jesse's channel or even Jeremy too, watching that, you kind of see that these are real people dealing with real emotions. We're not just like robots putting out content, we're real people just like you. So yeah, I found it to be quite interesting. And, You know, you could tell Jeremy already believed those things about Jesse. He really didn't think he was any of these things. He just wanted to see, right? Let him tell other people. And to be fair, you know, Jesse, Jeremy, I'm not putting myself in the same category by no means. And then go down 10 tiers, people like me, you know, always going to deal with this. No matter how big vetted gets or where I go, I'm always going to be accused of that sort of stuff. You know, it just, you know, me putting out the documentary, people are already starting to call me a grifter, you know, right away. I thought you spoke out against books and documentary and this. That's not true. In fact, I've always said, I don't care if they put out a book or documentary, or TV series, have at it, right? It's just about the truth, right, of what they're doing. I've always said, well, if they can do a book, why can't they testify before Congress? I've never said they shouldn't put out a book. I don't really care, right? I've said that numerous times. I don't have the time, but I would play a montage of me saying that. And anyone who really knows me, like in the Discord, knows that's my position. But people are going to say things anyway. They're just going to say things about you that aren't true. And you can't really fight everybody on it. You just have to let it exist. And that can be very frustrating as a content creator to know that there are things out there that are completely fabricated against you, just sitting there. And then people go, oh, is that true? Oh my God, I didn't know. That's why you got to ask for receipts. When someone says something, don't just take their word for it. Even in a comment section on Twitter, Reddit, whatever, ask for receipts, not just, well, I know it's true. And this and that. Even if 10 other people pile on and go, no, it is true. It is. Ask for the receipts. Always ask to see the evidence. Show me what you're saying, right? So again, it's always just going to come our way. And, you know, this interview with Jeremy, again, I highly recommend it. It was really good, to be honest with you. I really enjoyed listening to it. And Jesse always clearly is a great interviewer. And these are two people that are very passionate about what they do. You know, they really firmly believe in this higher calling. I personally don't have that. This isn't a higher calling for me. I'm proud, proud to admit that. I can't just lie. Like, I'm not saying they are. I'm saying I believe that they believe that. I'm saying me personally, I'm not just going to pretend that this is a higher calling when it's not for me. You know, that's just the honest truth. My quote higher calling is really just my dedication to y'all, the audience. That's what I think about the most. The audience that I'm making this content for, that I'm asking you to take time out of your day to watch. You know, is it entertaining? Is it informative? Right? Can you get something for it? Does it have a value to you? Right? My own personal sort of whatever about it takes a back seat in my opinion, because I'm one person, but y'all are a lot of people. And I think my duty is to the audience. If I'm going to make content, my duty is to the audience. Just like when I had a food truck and I sold food, it's not about me. It's about the people eating the food, right? I got to make good food because it's going to you. You're going to put that in your mouth, right? And the content I make is going to go in your mind. I got to make sure that it's something worthwhile, at the very least entertaining, and you got something out of it. So anyway, I'm just going to ramble on, and that it's really not going to make any sense, even though that probably happened about 5 minutes ago. So anyway, if you haven't checked out my new film, Psionics, it's out now, psionics.film. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Remember about us. Every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.